Okay, so I've decided to make a tutorial on how to set up a Minecraft server. This is very commonly talked about, and a lot of people seem to have trouble with it. I am going to show how to set up a Bukkit Minecraft server. First off, you go to Bukkit's website, which can be gotten to by a simple search on Google. Then load the first result, bukkit.org, and you go to the Get Craft Bukkit tab at the top, and you can either do the really easy way, which I would not recommend. It's a little bit annoying, and there's all these. Actually, you're supposed to click the recommended build over here. The other way, it installs programs which can lead to, it just takes up a little bit more space. I think it's more annoying to do than just, you have to update it every once in a while. Why is it not downloading? I think I clicked the wrong link. Get Craft Bukkit. No, it is Get Craft Bukkit. Oh, I just have to click this, and then this. Oh, okay. Still not downloading. I'm just gonna right-click Save Link As. I'm gonna put it on my desktop, just for example. I'm gonna wait for it to download. And the noise you hear is me eating a burrito because I'm really hungry. Okay, this is being annoyingly long. It's 9.1 megabytes, considerably large, bit bigger than the vanilla Minecraft jar, which can be found at the download page here. And you should download the server jar, not the server exe, because that's a lot less. It's bigger and doesn't work as well. It uses slightly more resources, and you can't like run it with more RAM and stuff. But with this one, you have to run it from terminal or command prompt, depending on what system you use, with this command rather than just double clicking. Okay, so it is done downloading. So next, what we do is I'm going to rename it to bukkit.jar. Make a new folder. I'm going to call it Minecraft Server. Close enough. And I'm going to drag the bukkit.jar into it. Now you've got there. So open up your favorite text editor. I'm just using the Linux default one, gedit, which is really the only one that comes installed with it. And all you have to do is type in Java jar bukkit.jar no GUI. Fairly simple. If you want to run it with more RAM, you do Java xmx, however much you want max, and then xms, half of that, then jar bukkit.jar no GUI. I'm just going to do it the first way because it's easier. Save it, put it in the same folder as the thing, and save it as either run.bat if you're on a Windows system, or run.sh if you're on a Linux or Unix based system, such as Mac OS X or Linux, like Ubuntu, Mint, whatever those. I'm going to be saving it as an sh because I'm running Ubuntu. Then, on Ubuntu, you have to go to Properties, Permissions, and allow executing of this file as a program. This allows it to run in terminal. Double click it, run, and it should pop up with all this stuff. Oh great, I didn't do this right, did I? Oops. I did a bad job of showing you how to set this up. What I forgot to do was, what you have to do is, instead of just running it like the way I did, you have to open up terminal and then type in cd then drag the name of the folder in on, well, at least you can do that on like Unix and Linux based systems, and then you type in bash run.sh for Unix or Linux systems. For Windows, it will automatically show the window and you won't need to do this, but here you do, and it's showing that it's setting everything up and everything's running, right? So you got your server properties, you can change the level name, allow nether, view distance, like it shows how many chunks the users can load. If your server is very slow, decrease that number, but don't make it any less than 5, otherwise it'll look like your server's lagging a lot and will probably decrease your player base. Spawn monsters, will turn off aggressive mobs. Online mode is so that people can't log in with fake usernames. Difficulty 1 is survival, 0 is create. No. Difficulty 1 is normal, I think 0 is hardcore. Game mode 0 is survival, 1 is creative. Spawn animals such as cows, pigs, mobs, stuff like that. The maximum amount of players. Server IP, a useless field you'll never need to touch. PvP, if you want other players to be able to kill other players. Level speed, if you want it to not use the default one, or just some randomly generated one like it did here. Allow flight, to turn on or off the flying function. And the whitelist, if you want it so that only certain players can log in. And MOTD, which is the little thing that shows up right here, the one under whatever you named it, and that shows up on all computers like that. Once you set that up, you would just stop the server by typing in the stop command, and then if you're on a Windows or Windows system, just double click the .bat file again, or if you're on Unix or Linux, just the bash run.sh file again. And now it's reloaded all the changes. Got a bunch of other stuff open I should have closed out of. Now they've got this. You want to op yourself by typing in op and then your username with correct capitalization. And then now you want to start dealing with plugins. This is probably the hardest part for a lot of people, setting up permissions and all that good stuff. To do this, you just if you want permissions, do permissions Bukkit. Just Google it, and and it's the first result. And you just need to download this if it ever shows up. Download. The current version is 1.2 at the time of making this video, but the process for setting it up should not change over time. I'm going to save link as. Okay, why is it not saving? Okay, there we go. Minecraft server. Put it in your plugins folder and keep it with the same name. And then just save it. It'll do that. Then just type in reload. It's now you see permissions Bukkit v1.2 is now enabled. Just go into plugins, you go into permissions Bukkit folder, and open your config.yml file. These files are quite annoying because you have to use exactly correct tab indentation, otherwise it gives errors and disables the plugin. For this, well, let's say we want everyone to be able to build, right? So we want the default group, we want permissions build to be true, which means that they can build on the server. So you have to save that and then reload the server. Anyone who logs on can now build. An admin, permissions.star, means that they can do any command. And inheritance means they inherit all the commands of a user too. For this, you can also see that you can use specific commands only for certain worlds. For this command syntax, you would use worlds, you would go to users, user, worlds, the world name with correct capitalization, and then whatever thing you want them able to do there. So for instance, you could have a world where everyone can use world edit to create amazing structures. But not like on the main spawn world where it's, say, survival. You can also manually add a user by just typing in their username. And then you have to do tab, and then say permissions, and then you get how to do this, right? I mean, it's basically just the same tree. Then after you do that, You can reload it again, and then now your permissions are set up. So now, what other kinds of plugins do you need? I mean, it's basically the same setup for any plugin you could want. I mean, economy. No, the economy is slightly different because it uses MySQL databases to store player data instead of flat files, which will basically make sure that your server doesn't spontaneously die of a hard drive failure due to over read-write accessing the same files, and like it can also lead to corruption if it tries to read-write the same file too many times. If you have really any questions about anything, well, actually before I go, I'm also going to show you how to set up the vanilla server, which is quite a bit easier. So I'm just going to delete that and make a new folder, Minecraft. You don't have to delete the folder, you can just download the same thing again. Then just go to the download tab, click the Minecraft server.jar. Well, in my case I'm just going to save link as, and put it on my desktop, Minecraft server.jar, and then you do the exact same thing for the run file. On Windows you'd be using Notepad, on Mac you'd be using whatever you use, I forgot what the name of it, TextEdit. So Java, jar, Minecraft server.jar. The really cool thing about the Minecraft server.jar is that by default it has a feature, the GUI feature, which you have to disable on Bukkit because it doesn't exist. But here, when you don't add the no GUI extension, you get this little nifty thing. And it shows you more detail, but it uses more memory just by itself to show this. So if you don't have a very powerful system, do not do this. If you're using a slow system, you should have to use stop. You have to use the no GUI thing at the end. Did I quit? And if you try and run 2 or more servers at the same time, it will end up doing this error. It's not doing it for me, but it will say cannot use port 25565 because it's already in use. And then you can't set up plugins here, but you can still do all the basic ops stuff. You can set like flying, and that's really it. It's not very featureless compared to Bukkit. I would definitely recommend Bukkit over the default vanilla server just because of the anti-grief plugins you can install and all of the other functionality such as permissions so that only certain players can build, and more customizable whitelisting features and spawn protection. You can also disable creepers and add more functionality quite easier than the vanilla jar, which you have to like modify, and then you've got compatibility issues, and then players have to install mods and stuff, compared to Bukkit where you just drag and drop something in and then click reload. So that's it for this tutorial. If you have any questions, leave a comment, whatever, and I'll try and reply to you as soon as I can. Bye!